Welcome back to KSN Structural Engineering classes. This is class number 2 of our course Complete Coverage of SFD and BMD, which is a very powerful and equally important part of the basic subject of structural engineering, that is strength of materials. For that matter, strength of materials can also be called as the foundation for structural engineering. In the last class, that is class number 1, which you might have already gone through, I told you that due to my present day class commitments and also busy schedule, I will not be able to upload more number of classes in that month. But at that time, I told next month, that is May 2021, that is present month, the classes will be uploaded regularly as per the schedule. But due to the lockdown, the person who helps me for recording and also for uploading in YouTube was not able to come to my classroom since past nearly 1 month. And lockdown is still in existence. But now I made alternative arrangements. So from now onwards, classes will be conducted regularly and or as per the schedule, that is alternate days, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Each class will be of duration approximately half an hour, that is 30 minutes. On average basis, sometimes due to the requirement or situation on that particular day, it can be little this side, that side. That's why I told average basis. And I am sure or confident that a class of around 30 minutes, that too on alternate days, will not be a problem even for those who have a very busy schedule, provided they are serious, have dedication, ready to learn and really want to learn and gain very good knowledge, which is of course is the requirement from your side. Now, in the last class, I told so many concepts, that is basics of structural engineering. Some of the concepts told there will come once again here, because our course SF and BM, those two are a part of what? The 4 section forces, namely axial force, shear force, bending moment and torsional moment. But so many things told there will not come once again. So only those parts which are required for correctly understanding this will come again in more systematic way. Other will not come. So even the other things told there are equally important. So I will advise all those who have already gone through the first class, better once again go through it if required repeatedly and correctly understand all the concepts and then continue the course. Suppose anybody new, no, not anybody, so many will be there, new, those who came directly to second class, I will advise them first go to class number 1. Go through it again many number of times till you thoroughly understand it. Okay, then come to class number 2, that is this class, and continue the course. Now we are going to start the course. For the course, there is a schedule. Like I told, schedule of the class timings. Not timings actually, okay, somewhat like timing only. Schedule for the course. See, you cannot directly start SFD and BMD. There will be pre-requirements. That is, you should know some basic concepts which are required for understanding correctly this shear force and bending moment. So what I will do is, I will update everybody to bring that level to such a level so that from there you can easily understand the present course. Some of you may be already knowing the concept, but there are people who are weak or they find difficult to understand. And when I take a class, I always ensure that everybody will understand. See, the term doubt has no entry to my class. This you can see later, not right now. Right now in the beginning now. Later you can see. Now, therefore, what I will do now is, I will give a schedule. Schedule means I will write here what way the class will run here now, which are the parts you require before starting SFDM, and how to thoroughly understand, and then we will come to the shearing force and bending moment. Now, to save the time, I will write everything first because it will take some time for writing. I will take my own time and write here and then restart the class. But later, when we conducting the SFD BMD part, I will not write anything before the class. Everything I am going to write in front of you only. See, pre-written notes or statements are not that much appealing than what you write in the class right at that time. So therefore, everything I will write afterwards in front of you only. Only this is a schedule, so I will write and then restart. Welcome back. See, I wrote the schedule here. We will start our course from resolution of a force. Actually, each and every one of this one, why it is required, I will tell as I go there. Instead of telling everything now, when I go there, I will tell. So, resolution of a force. Then, principle of moment. You can see, I wrote quite big. Why? I will tell you little later now. 3. Types of loads or different types of loads for that matter. Different types of loads. Then, magnitude, direction, line of action. How to get all those. And also, how to find moment about any required point. You can see here, I wrote big letters. Why? Reason will be there. 4. Equilibrium. There, action and reaction together will come. And also basic conditions of static equilibrium. Different types of supports and corresponding support reactions. Section forces, the most powerful in structural engineering. Comparison of equilibrium with section forces. In the beginning, repeatedly I will tell it. Till absolutely it is crystal clear for you. And some important do's and do nots. What you should do and what you should not do. That is, what mistakes you are likely to do, that I will highlight there. Statically determinate and indeterminate structures. Important, because without knowing determinate, indeterminate, there is no point in drawing SFD BMD. Ninth one. See, section forces are, I will write here, axial force, shear force, bending moment and torsional or twisting moment, correct. Our course, that is SFD and BMD, that is mainly SFBM, is this one. Torsion we will not cover here. And usually for torsion, diagrams are not drawn. No, it can be drawn, not that diagrams are not existing, but usually diagrams are not drawn. A designer usually requires the information, if torsion comes, what is the value of that torsional moment. But axial force is important, especially for columns. See, in a building, columns are subjected to axial force. Of course, bending also will be there. Axial force, compression. Floor to floor, the axial force will change. Therefore, how the axial force varies for a member is important for structural design. But our course is SF and BM. So, what I will do is brief coverage of axial force. Just one class, that's all. So that also is extra for you. Then 10 what else? Our course, that is SF and BM. First full basic concepts, then proceed further for SFD and BMD. SFD and BMD. Now we have to start from here. But I will tell, starting from here, except this one. 1 to 8 are the pre-requirement for thorough understanding of shear force and bending moment. Actually, I have seen lot of mistakes being committed. So you need not worry. I will highlight all the mistakes committed. I will tell how to correct it, so that you will have a correct idea or a perfect concept of the pre-requirements for SFD BMD. That is my responsibility, provided you show interest and dedication. That is very important. If you are not showing interest, irregular, not going through the class fully, going partially, somewhere in between, then you won't learn. You should have the dedication and willingness to gain that knowledge. I am there to give the knowledge. And as we progress further, you will see to what level I will take you in structural knowledge. Not only in this subject or in this course, in all the future courses which I am going to conduct. Now, we will start from resolution of a force. I will again start fresh because I have to remove all this one. So, fresh I will start from first one. Okay, we will start now. As I told, the first one, resolution of a force. Just remember, if the subject is engineering mechanics, then there is a systematic way of covering this one. Lot of principles are there, theorems are there, and then we have to go in a systematic way and prove each and everything. But here, this is not engineering mechanics. This is, I am covering prerequisite. Therefore, I will just give principles here, that's all. See, you just consider a force. See, you consider a force here. I'll take the force P1. I'll take one more force here, P2, passing through a point O. Now, let the angle between them be theta. Now, for these two forces, I will put here now. See, this is a force P1, this is a force P2, P2 and P1. The resultant will be something like this. This you know it. This is a resultant force. I will call resultant as R, or say simply P for some reason. Instead of R, I will call it as P. There's a reason for it. Now, let this angle be angle made by resultant R with the force P1. Let it be alpha 1. Angle made by resultant R P with P2 is alpha 2. Now, by principle of parallelogram of forces, we got expression resultant R equal to, that we are calling P here, square root of P1 square plus P2 square plus 2P1 into P2 into cos theta. This you are knowing it, and this will give magnitude of the resultant. Also we want direction. That is, what is the angle made by the resultant with any one of the pores. See, suppose you get alpha 1, you can find alpha 2 very easily because, see, once you get alpha 1, theta minus alpha 1 will give alpha 2. So any one will do. Anyway, formula, if you want alpha 1, then tan alpha 1, see right here, to get alpha 1. Tan alpha 1, there is a formula. You remember by words. Formula is, if you want angle made by the resultant with the force P1, the formula is other force P2 into sine of this angle theta divided by P2, divided by this force, that is P1, plus once again other force P2 into cos theta. So it is very easy to remember by words. And same way, or tan alpha 2. See, that is, we want the angle made by the resultant with the force P2. Then formula is what? Other force first, P1. P1 into sine of angle theta divided by, we want with the force P2, divided by this force P2 plus once again the other force P1 into cos theta. This alpha 1, alpha 2 together will be theta once again. The proof part I am not telling, because why? It is beyond the scope here. First of all, there is a reason for explaining this one. Okay, now. So leave as it is now. Now, see, for the force P1 and P2, I told result R is the resultant, say P. Now, therefore, for the resultant R, say P, P1 and P2 will be components. They are the components. So, for any force, now, for any force here, I will call the force as P. Suppose you want components along two directions. Say, I will do one thing, point O, I will take this the direction as direction number 1, round off. This is direction 2. Direction 2. Suppose you want for the force P here, you want component along 1 and component along 2. Then, see, imagine the components are like this. See, this component along 1, it is P1. Take P1. Along 2, it is P2. P2. Then, the condition is that for force P, if P1 and P2 are the components along O1 and O2, then for force P1 and P2 combined together, the resultant should be once again the force P. So, suppose I take the angle as here alpha 1 and alpha 2. See, now, if you know the value of P1 and P2 with the angle theta in between them, using this expression, you can find resultant and direction for resultant, that is angle made by the resultant with any one of the force. Now, same way, if you know a force P and you want resolve in along two directions, say O1 and O2, O1 and O2, let the component be P1 and P2. Now, for I told already for P1 and P2, P should be resultant. Now there is an expression for P1 and P2. I will tell the expression. See, if you want, your P1 will be equal to, see, this is, so many are not knowing. People usually know resolution in two mutually perpendicular directions. Then it is very simple. One of them is force into cos theta, other is force into sin theta. That majority are knowing. But this principle, so many are not knowing. And one more thing, in case of any competitive examination, such questions can be asked. So you better learn it. But from our SFD BMD point of view, we always require resolution into mutually perpendicular direction, which I will explain in detail. Now, the formula for P1, see, I already told you the angle. Now data is what here? P is known, alpha 1, alpha 2 known. That is, For a given force P, we want component along O1 and O2. O1 is making angle of alpha 1, O2 is making angle of what? Alpha 2 with P. The formula for P1 will be, formula is what? If you want the value of P1, see, it is the force into sine of the other angle. I want component along 1. So, if I want component of P along 1, other angle is alpha 2. Sine of alpha 2 divided by sine of alpha 1 plus alpha 2. Same way, if you want P2, see, component along this one is force P into sine of the other angle, sine of alpha 1 divided by sine of alpha 1 plus alpha 2 is the formula. Now I will go do one thing. I will give a simple example and convince you about this one. See, for example, just consider a force of 10 Newton, or little 1 minute. Okay, no problem. You consider one direction here, one direction here. See, I will call this as one direction, O1. This I will call O2. Some angle required, say 30 degrees and 40 degrees. Now, by chance, if 1 and 2 are perpendicular, see, for example, that is a very popular resolution. One of them is force into cos theta, other is force into sin theta, which I told majority are knowing. But now, this is something else. See, now, if I want component along 1, say, I will continue here, say the component is P1, say the component is P2. As per the principle told by me, P1 equal to, see, is P1 equal to, see, we want component along 1 for 10 Newton. This is 30, this is 40. So, if I want component P1, force 10 into sine of the other angle, how much? 40 divided by sine of sum of those two angles. I think if you cannot get the sum, I am helpless. Sine of, okay, I will put 30 plus 40. Calculate the answer. And if you want component P2, that is component of this 10 Newton in the direction O2. So here I want. So force 10 into sine of the other angle 30 divided by sine of 30 plus 40. This you have to calculate. This will come 6.8404 Newton. This will come 5.3209 Newton. This is the answer you got. Now, just curiosity or to get confidence, I will tell one more thing. In this course, I will tell lot of principles and lot of places. I will tell this should be the answer. Once I tell that should be the answer, that should be the answer. No going back. That means the confidence counts there. So now, in the beginning only, get some confidence. See. Now, for the 10 Newton force, along 1 and 2, I told just now answer I got. I'll enter the answer here. 5.3209. No. This is it. See. Not that one. This one. P1. Now, this is called a print mistake. 6.8404 Newton, and P2 you got 5.3209 Newton. Now see, what I will do now is, I will do somewhere here now. I will consider the force of 6.8404 Newton here, and I will take other force of, I won't write P1, P2 now, 5.3209 0.09 Newton. I'll take angle between them 70 degrees. See, once again same here. So earlier conclusion is for a force of 10 Newton, if you want component in two directions, one direction is O1 making 30 degree, other direction is O2 making 40 degree on either side. These are the component is the result. Now, just curiosity, do one thing. You consider these two forces with the angle between them 70. Now, for this one, see, one force is here, other force is here. This will be the resultant. This is a resultant, and if I call this angle as alpha 1, if I call this angle alpha 2, we will get it now. See, start first. Resultant R equal to square root of how much? See, what is the force here? P1 square 6.8404 square plus 5.3209 square. I'll continue here, plus 2 into, actually you are right, a long one, here space is not there, that's why I'm writing here, 2 into 6.8404 into 5.3209 into cos of 70. See, I told P1 square plus P2 square plus 2P1 P2 cos theta, substitute there. Now, answer required in Newton. Then, I want the angle alpha 1. As per the principle here, if you want this angle alpha 1, it is what? It is tan inverse of, because why? When tan alpha is this formula, alpha equal tan inverse of C. I want angle made by the resultant with this force, that is 6.84. It is tan inverse of what? Other force, 5.3209 into sin 70 divided by this force 6.8404 plus other force 5.3209 into cos 70. That will tell you alpha 1. Alpha 2 if you want. Actually once you get alpha 1, see this is 70 degrees. If this is alpha 1, alpha 2 equal to 70 minus alpha 1. But still, tell the answer, alpha 2. I want angle made by this resultant with this force. Therefore, formula is what? Tan inverse of other force. When I want angle with this force, other force is 6.8404 into sin 70 divided by this force 5.3209 plus what? Once again, other force is 6.8404 into cos 70. This answer. Now, you take your calculator, get the value of R, get the value of alpha 1, get the value of alpha 2. If it is my classroom or offline class, I will not use calculator. I will ask my students, you calculate. I usually never bring any prepared notes to the class, no prepared problem. I come with only one pen, that's all. Now, I will ask the students, tell the answer here, tell the answer here. My students will not calculate. They will pretend as if they are calculating. They will surely tell, sir, this answer is 10 Newton and alpha 1 you will get. They will see, sir, 30 degrees, alpha 2, they will tell 40 degrees. That much confidence they have got in me. And I have got that much confidence in me also. That's why I did not use the calculator. I wrote the answer. How much is this answer? How much this answer? You check if you want. That is your problem. Check it. Answer has to come same. Because if answer is not coming same, then the principle is wrong. Wrong principle I will never tell. Okay, now this is how you resolve a force in any two directions. They need not be perpendicular to each other. But remember, this is not required for SFD BMD. SFD BMD point of view and major portion you require component of a force. If one of them is along x direction, other you want along y, or we want to resolve a force in two mutually perpendicular directions. That's what I will cover now. So this is important only for those who are writing competitive examinations, because in a competitive examination they can give a question like this. They won't give 6.8409. Sorry, they will give what? They will give the fourth problem here. See, where's the problem here? See, the question will be this way. For the given force of 10 Newton, they will mark two arrow directions here, 130 and 40. They will tell the components along 1 and 2 are, options will be given. Correct option will be 6.8407, 5.3209. Or they may ask only one component. That is for competitive examination. For others, at least you know something. We will not use this in SFD BMD, that is sure. So from our main course point of view, this is, you cannot call time waste. Little knowledge. But if you are interested, go through it. Otherwise, leave it. Just accept it and leave it. Okay, now we will go for the real resolution. That is resolution of a force, I'll write once again, in two mutually perpendicular directions. That is the most important, we require it. Okay, I will start once again after making the board ready. Just now I told, next we are going for resolution of a force in two mutually perpendicular directions. Remember, this is the most important in structural engineering. That earlier I told, resolution in any two random directions where they are not perpendicular to each other. That's only for concept I told, and useful only for competitive examination and basic subject knowledge. But what we are covering now is very, very important. Now, I already told my class each will be of duration around 30 minutes. Now, when I take a class, when I teach, I don't see watch and teach. I cannot do that way. So, I just now observed it is almost nearing 30 minutes. So, I have to continue in the next class. But since I told I am covering, I will very briefly cover now. And next class will be exclusively for resolution purpose, and there I will make everything crystal clear. Any difficulty for you or any confusion will be completely removed, and in future, after tomorrow's class, I will ensure that whenever required for you in future, resolution, you will have such a fluency that very, very easily you will do it. So, I will very briefly tell and conclude the class, and very briefly means just I will tell 2 points now, that's all. Further, in next class, I was about to tell tomorrow, by habit, no, next class, that is class number 3, everything will be crystal clear way explained for you. See, consider a force P. Just consider one axis called X here and another axis perpendicular to it, that is Y, or direction you can tell. Let this angle be theta. Now, a force P is acting which makes an angle theta with X direction. Now, if you resolve this along X and Y, see, there is no rule that X and Y should be perpendicular to each other. It can be inclined also. But if one of them is inclined, other also becomes inclined. But one thing, that 90 degrees still maintained, mutually perpendicular, that you require for friction problem or for principal stresses, or to find stresses on oblique plane, and also in arches and so many places you require. That is, there sometime what happens is force is horizontal directly along our usual X. Still we want along some two directions which are not horizontal vertical but mutually perpendicular. So that all I will cover tomorrow. So even this also I will once again explain tomorrow in detail. So today, just because I told what I am considering, briefly I will consider, and therefore today what I tell, Just go through it, that's all. We will start next class. I will write here once again resolution of a force in two mutually perpendicular directions, explain all the principle there and make everything clear for you. Start. Now briefly. Now if you resolve one component like this, one component like this, remember I told very briefly I will tell. What you have to remember, this in the next class I will write in words and convince you. You see or observe the angle is considered with which direction. For in this case, the force P is making angle theta with x. So the component along that direction with which the angle is considered is always force into cos theta, and the perpendicular component is force into sin theta. I will explain much more tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, next class, sorry. Then, or, suppose you consider, once again force P. See, angle theta this way. This theta is not that theta, some other case. Now, see, force P is making an angle theta with the y direction. So when you resolve, one component will be x component, px, other is py. Now see once again, angle made by the force P is theta with the y direction. So the y component will be cos. P into cos theta, this will be P into sin theta. Next class, example will come, and also one more thing. See, if the force is this way, I told just now, component like this. If the force is this way, the component will become this way. If the force is this way, component will become like this. Whereas other case, what? This way. If the force is this way, component becomes this way. This also I will explain. And later, suppose there is a force here, some force. You want to resolve along two mutually perpendicular directions, but one thing, this way. This is not this x and y. I will call this as x dash and this as y dash. Now, how you resolve this? Suppose the force is this way. See. Now, this you require for some part of the structural analysis and also strength of materials. So when I cover everything systematically, for your information, I will cover next class this also. And there will be some examples next class where everything will be made crystal clear. You see the next class. And one more thing, remember, as far as our course is concerned, SFD and BMD, we need only resolution in x and y directions when x and y are horizontal and vertical. This case, for SFD BMD, you don't require. But in case you want SFD BMD for an inclined member, see, like for example, an inclined beam, this way. There if you apply a vertical load, then for SF and BM, you require, see, a normal component will be there and also tangential component will be there. You need this component. So even in the class later in SFD BMD, I will take this case also. As I told you, it will be a complete coverage of SFD BMD. I want to make it never done so far and never will be done in future. I will take care of that one. Therefore, these all will be covered in the next class. So next class is very, very important. So what I will do is, because already the allotted, not allotted time, nobody is allotting time to me, but stipulated time or time decided is already exceeding by more than maybe 5-6 minutes now. Therefore, today's class I will conclude now. So we will meet once again next class, that is class number 3. Class number 3, where title will be once again, like today's class, resolution of a force with examples I will write, with examples. Or I may write or may not write also, with examples. So it is a continuation. Today what I just now told, you can just go through and leave it, because it will repeat next class once again from basic principles. So just I told briefly about resolution. So never tell this is not told, that is not told, everything will come including example. So all the classes I will see that in future will be around half an hour or 30 minutes. as I told earlier, little this side, that side, I am helpless. Sometime depending on a particular solution, you may require little more time. Okay, done, 5-6 minutes extra. Or sometime a solution is over, when still 5 minutes left, I will conclude the class. That will conduct, and as I told earlier, now onwards, classes will be regularly uploaded. See, weekly quota of 3 classes will be maintained throughout. I will not upload more. I will maintain same thing, except when an emergency reason, I may have to skip one class. Then I will not skip that class. I will immediately upload one more class extra, so that the weekly quota of 3 classes will be uploaded. Okay. Next time we will meet in class number 3.